This is MIlos Sarcev from Muscular Development. We are here in Texas after the second day of Texas Pro. And I'm here with my protege, my client, my very good friend, Logan Franklin, who placed second yesterday. We're going to talk about your classic physique, appearance, and everything. But let's touch the subject of open division. We just witnessed it. So watching the prejudging right now, how did you see open division?
Oh, they definitely had the top three as the clear top three, in my opinion. Ian, I believe the other guy's named Phil, and then Steve. A great little battle between those guys. The first thing I noticed whenever Ian came out, he had really crazy good, sharp quads. He was sitting on his legs way better, I think, this weekend than last weekend. Maybe faded a little bit in the posing. I feel the sharpest guy up there was definitely Phil. His back was phenomenal. And yeah, it was overall.
So yeah, I'm going to say my opinion as well. We watched the show, and there's definitely top three in whichever order. Now, really, all three guys left the argument to win. I agree with Logan when initially Jan came on the stage. I was like, whoa, this is the best Jan I've ever seen. Full, hard, dry, legs super separated, and he kept it. To be fair, he kept it throughout the prejudging, but he was fading and sometimes relaxing his quads. Now, on the merits of size and fullness, how can you go against Steve? Steve Kuklo is just a monster.
Huge.
He's between 280 and 290 pounds. Everything is there, super full, wide, thick, hard, and conditioned. Not really dry, so this is where he can possibly lose. But no weaknesses, every body part is there, every pose is dramatic. Now, Phil Klahar again brought it. Not just that he brought it, I think he even improved. You didn't see him in Tampa last week. He came even sharper, which is hard to believe. Maybe somewhat flatter. So when you compare them, okay, Jan and Steve could overpower Phil. I think Phil is 47 years old, veteran, super thin skin, polished, deep abs, everything is there, but maybe somewhat lengthy if you put him next to the two thick guys. So from a thickness standpoint, I see Steve being a fuller and thicker and just as wide as Jan. Jan has a more pronounced V-taper, so he has that little bit more aesthetic beauty to him.
Ian has the way I see it, Steve has got the mass, a little bit less condition, dryness. He could have definitely been more of that. Ian definitely brought the aesthetics out of the three. Like you said, he was very sharp. Like I said as well, very sharp when he came out. Started fading in the posing a little bit. And then Phil, he was the sharpest of them all, I feel.
Yeah.
Best back up there, but a little small, I think, in the legs.
Yeah.
I think the legs would...
it's actually the shape of his legs. He has that sweeping thighs, but then goes into the very small joint of a knee, so he doesn't have that really thickness in the lower quads. And then calves, obviously in calves department, Steve, was phenomenon. And those are maybe weaknesses of Ian and Phil. Now let's talk about the fourth place, fifth and sixth. So Martin Fitzwater, came out of nowhere. He is training partner of Brett Wilkins. Oh, sorry, Brett. my brain stopped for a second. Yeah, and Martin and Brett look so much alike. Now, Brett brought the crazy conditioning, and if Martin brought the same conditioning, this would be something that he would definitely be on the fourth place straight across the board. But I think he wasn't as conditioned, as dry. It was apparent in his legs. So if he's going to take a fourth place, I'm not sure. I think that Hassan, Mustafa, and Mohammed El-Amam, should be there ahead of him.
Yeah.
So this is the way I see the prejudging going. But finals, a completely new show, and it can go either way. My money right now is possibly Jan is ahead of Steve, on the dryness and conditioning. So if Steve tighten up a little bit for finals, I really think that Steve went for that crazy fullness to overpower Jan. And I think maybe he's even holding a little bit too much glycogen.
Yes.
So this posing hopefully drain him out a little bit, and he might be My mother is calling. All right. So this is about open division. About 212, I would say that Austin Carr came way improved. I mean, he really spilled over. He was not contender
That was the
in
guy from
Chicago.
Tampa.
He was in Chicago. He was not contender, so he was placed out of top 10. This time, he came very conditioned, legs are out of this world. He was still not as dry and maybe as lean as he should be to win the contest and to be at Olympia conditioning, but it was good enough because also the guy that I see winning after prejudging, Ahmed Al-Sadani.
That's what it was.
Yeah, I love his shape. I love everything about Ahmed. He's very aesthetic, complete.
Yes.
I
saw him as the clear winner when he first came out in the groups. My eyes instantly went to him, and I remembered him through all the comparisons. And then obviously the first call out came, and he looked like he dominated up there. Great abs, great shape for 212. I mentioned to you during the call out.
Yes.
It's an exciting show, so stay tuned for tonight.
I'm sure that you appreciate this kind of aesthetics and the shape. And I think that in this department, really, Ahmed Al-Sadani has probably one of the best shapes in 212 division.
Yes.
Anyway, he was still a little bit off and still a little bit watery. So conditioning is still not solved for him, but it's good enough to win this contest. Now, you mentioned also, you notice you don't know the name, but Martin Gomez.
The baby blue trunks.
The baby blue trunks, is the best conditioned guy on the stage.
Crazy peeled.
Yeah, crazy peeled.
From the rear especially. I liked all of his rear shots. You could see all the detail in his lats, his traps, glutes extremely dry, everything. He nailed his conditioning. He nailed his peak, I think. So.
Yeah. I think I see him third, even though by the positioning on the stage, maybe Jason Herbert is taking his place for a third. But we're going to see definitely Guy Cisterina was top 5. Veteran, came in shape, came conditioned, and making a top 5 in a show like this is a great success.
Huge.
So for my money, Ahmed Al-Sadani over Austin Carr after the prejudging. We see what's going to happen in finals. Now, as I have you here, let's talk about the classic physique, okay? So first, you didn't accomplish the goal, but you came very close second. By the judging score sheets, you lost by 1 point.
1 point.
So tell me first how you feel about this whole experience.
It was a great experience. I had an amazing time, up there posing and putting on a show for everyone that was in the auditorium watching or everyone watching on the live feed. I had a great time posing and battling it out with Steve and Robert. Robert came in very, very big. I was not expecting him to have that much size up top. It was a great show. It was a good show. I felt I looked my very best that I have to date. Overall fullness, shape, conditioning, the symmetry that I brought, my posing, stage presence. I thought everything was on point. So just gonna keep improving, just try to figure out where I'm getting exposed at. Bring up the lagging body parts and continue to push forward.
Okay, tell me about your posing routine.
Yeah. Man, that was the biggest disappointment of the night was, getting through the finals routine and the music getting cut off whenever I had done like the third or fourth pose, I think. I just felt like, the fans got robbed of an awesome performance. And just a lot of work went into that routine. 2 hours of posing every day since, I think like January. It was a lot of work, but you guys will see that posing routine here pretty soon again.
Yes, actually, for those of you that are interested, please see my Instagram because I posted 2 days before. I witnessed, from beginning to the end, and the world needs to see it because that's perfection. It's posing mastery. I followed the sport since, of course, 70s. I've seen Mohammed Makavi, Ed Corney, Lila Brada, Sean Ray, all the great posers. And after seeing that routine, I'm bold to say this is the best choreographed routine I've ever seen because there was combination about 30-something poses from up, bottom, side to front. Transitions were dramatic. And you brought that classic. I think that classic physique is brought to bring the beauty of bodybuilders, of a shape, of aesthetics. You know, the human body, a manly body that would be so pleasing. And presentation of that body should be allowed. So the posing routines, especially for classic, should be allowed a little bit longer. I understand there was a 2-minute limit.
They said 90 seconds.
90 seconds,
Yeah,
okay,
they said
which is
90.
even less because, okay, if you come to the show and you do the choreographed routine like you, it's going to bring the audience, you know, so I'm also disappointed about that. But being a Logan's coach, you know, again, they're going to say I'm biased, so I'm not going to talk about the placings, you know, because I respect, I mean, oh my God, Robert Timms eats phenomenon.
Yeah.
And now, for you guys, okay, that would not believe, Dennis James, his first coach, told me, Milos, I would put $50,000 bet that Tim is going to pass any drug test. He is drug-free for life. Of course, for even people like Logan and me, myself, it's like, how would that be possible? But would I put the $50,000? No, I wouldn't, right? So just imagine if Tim really accomplished this, you know, naturally, this is phenomenal. But I would say this, he was upper body of the open bodybuilding top 6 competitors. Upper body, so much fullness, so much width, so much roundness, so much muscle, right?
Huge.
Yeah, and legs, even though he brought it up, you know, still was not balanced, you know, to be really, you know, that aesthetic balance, you know. So on that note, you know, Robert, you're going to the Olympia. You said you're going to bring something, you know, more. I would just tell you, focus on legs, bring the legs up. But on standpoint from my aspect, classic physique is about classic beauty and classic lines. First year when I watched in 2019, Chris Bumstead beat Brion and Pedersen, and you know, I said like, well, they had more muscle, they had you know, more condition, and you know, maybe they should place ahead of Chris. But I said this is classic physique rules, and then I learned what is about classic physique. So you look for the structure, you look for the shape, and that's a primary thing. I see you as a poster boy for a classic. Everything about you was classic. You know, the classic lines of this Steve Reeves, you know, the pioneer of the bodybuilding and everything. And presentation was meticulous. I understand that you got some feedback that you needed to bring even a better condition,
Yes.
you know, for the next show, which is going to be Arnold Classic. So it just, in your progression now, you went from 211 to 12?
Yeah, 213 at
213.
the Mr. Olympia to 219 and a half.
To 19 and a half, and you still have a gap.
Yes.
You're 6 foot tall.
11 more pounds, yeah.
Yeah,
11 more
so
pounds.
you know, I can only imagine what we're going to present within a year from now.
Yes, I'm excited to keep getting back to work and getting ready for the next performance for you guys. So stay tuned. We're coming for you.
Yeah. All right. For Muscular Development from Texas Pro, this is MIlos Sarcev.